Buenas and Hafa members, candidates, and all that have joined us this early morning. We're happy to be able to offer this coffee with the candidates virtually. First time ever for the Chamber of Commerce. I want to, thank the staff, Catherine Castro, our president, and the staff who do all the back end work for us to make these events possible. I also want to acknowledge Ernie Galito, who is the head of our nominating committee. As well as all his committee members that have put together a very fine, slate of candidates for our board. I'm going to turn it over to him to introduce the candidates, but again, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Hafa Day Friday, everyone, and once again, this is Coffee with the Candidates. Today is November 6th. And we are broadcasting live on GoToWebinar, courtesy of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. The format of today's Coffee with the Candidates will be, I will introduce each one of the 11 candidates, and they will have 2 minutes in order to introduce themselves, tell a little bit about their background, and maybe their aspirational wishes on how they want to see the Guam Chamber of Commerce proceed in 2021. As well as they'll be asking to send them into the board for the 8 available seats. After which, we'll ask members of the nominating committee to ask a question from each one of the candidates. Questions have been pre-selected, and so they'll have an additional 2 minutes in order to answer the question and further explain why they answered in which they did. And after which, if we have enough time during this hour with our membership and with the candidates, we will solicit questions from the membership. And by doing so, you can use the chat feature and pose your question, and then it will be read by Catherine, and she will pose that question to either all the candidates or one particular candidate. So everyone, thank you once again for joining us, Coffee with the Candidates. And let me introduce, what I'll do first to everybody's information. I'll name the candidates first in the order in which I'll ask them to introduce themselves. Then I'll go ahead and ask the first one to start with his introduction. And so the candidates in order will be David Silva, Mark J. Sablon, Mark Toquito, Philip Santos, AJ Pothin, Kim Anderson-Young, Will Calore, Jessica Barrett, Charlie Hermosa, Siska Patea, and then Sandra McKeever. Sorry, Sandra McKeever. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. So anyway, shall we begin? And so I'll ask Dave Silva, please introduce yourself to the Guam Chamber of Commerce membership.
Boom, boom, camera come up. Where am I? Okay. See me okay? Hear me okay? Testing?
Yes.
Got it. Great. Hafa Day. I'm Dave Silva. I'm 49 years old. I was born and raised in Guam and live in Dededo with my wife, Christina, and daughter, Gabrielle. In this time of economic distress, I am motivated to run for the Chamber Board and contribute my skills and experience towards our current economic recovery and future economic development. The plight of thousands of people out of work and many companies on the brink of closure is heartbreaking to me. What can we do as an organization to champion their cause? How can we help them survive this? I bring a bit of small business experience and I know what it's like to lose family money, something many in our community are experiencing now. I have ideas about connecting large businesses to smaller ones, to mentor and coach them in areas like entrepreneurship, marketing, finance, and leadership. Our organization is made up of some of the island's smartest minds and is best suited to find the solution and explore opportunities other than tourism and military. At the same time, we must continue to support the 2 pillars that are Guam's economy. I've spent some time at GITA and worked doing just that. Creating local jobs, improving the quality of life for our people is important to me. What other industries are out there that might benefit from all that Guam has to offer? Salmon farm, tuna transshipping, data warehousing, movie production, captive insurance. Let's create the strategy and make a long-term commitment to make these and others a success. One only has to look at what the FSM has done and their successes in the captive business. And what tools do we need to develop to attract businesses to come to Guam? I've spent the last 10 years working at Aon and look after some of Micronesia's largest risks. The global business taught me to be innovative, fresh, and focused on improvement. Let's facilitate regular think tanks to ensure that Product Guam is always fresh and attractive. Let's reinvent ourselves. I'll bring new ideas and a new voice to the Chamber Board, and I'm excited to engage membership and island leaders working towards a new tomorrow. Please vote for me in the upcoming election. I'm David Silva, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, David. Next, I'll let Mark J. Sablon introduce himself and why he wants to run for the Guam Chamber Board. Mark? I think you're still on mute, Mark.
All right, there you go. Sorry, I was muted by the organizer. Dave, that was a good introduction. That's gonna be very hard to match, but anyway, good morning, everyone. My name is Mark J. Sablon. My background is in banking and petroleum. So I'm a veteran of the Chamber. It's a really good organization. I think to be a good Chamber board member, you've got to be dedicated and really put some time into assisting by joining the committees and promoting the beliefs of the Chamber and its mission statement. I feel really good about the 11 nominees, and I hope that everyone makes it, which, you know, only a few will not, but then again, every year we have elections and your chance will come in time. I'm very proud to be a member of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. A lot of what I've learned I can apply to help the Chamber accomplish its mission. With each year, we have different chairpersons. Each has a different style, but as a team, we do our very best in ensuring that the business community keeps our government in balance, in check, and if not, informed of what's happening in the business community. Because in these times, as Dave previously said, it's only going to get worse before it gets better. So I think we need to elect a strong team of members who will serve the board and will dedicate time. And I think it's going to take a lot more time in 2021 because of the predicament that we are currently in. But with that said, I think right now the Chamber is important to our business community.
Thank you, Mark. Your
2 minutes already?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, from Bank of Hawaii, let's welcome Mark Toquito. Mark, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you, Ernie. My name is Mark Toquito. I am with Bank of Hawaii, and I've been with Bank of Hawaii since, I'm not sure I want to say, but since 1985. I was kind of young when I started. I'm from Hawaii, but been in this part of the world since 1992. Spent 3 years in our Saipan operations in the early 90s, and then came out to Guam in 97. So Guam is home for me now. I am currently a board member on the Chamber. I've been honored to serve on the executive committee for the last 3 years. First 2 years as secretary treasurer, and then in current year as a vice chair. I've been active in various community and civic organizations. Been the president of the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay. Currently, I am the treasurer. for the Girl Scouts of Guam, and I also serve on the board of the American Red Cross. So the reason I'm running, we've done a lot this year. 2020 was really an unprecedented year, and the chamber, was a voice for the business community, with the lockdown, the pandemic, everything else, and the formation of our political action committee, Action Pack, was huge. I think a lot of the candidates that were endorsed by Action Pack was able to get elected. So hoping to continue to contribute to the chamber for the next 3 years.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, okay, thanks, Ernie.
Okay. Next, please, let's listen to Phil Santos and tell us his story. Phil?
Day. Good morning, everybody, and good morning to the nominees that are here today. I want to thank everybody for the confidence in the nomination, and really appreciate that. My name is Phil Santos, and I've been with Matson now for 28 years in the transportation industry. Developed an extensive network here on Guam and abroad, primarily through the US, and currently serve as the vice chairman for the Armed Forces Committee, and sit as the chairperson for the Advisory Council for the Guam USO, and as well with the Anderson Civilian Council. I'm looking to contribute to the organization just through my experience serving on various organizations and really with the chamber in the last several years, primarily with the AFC, through various fundraising events, Toys for Tots, and liaising with military leadership here on Guam, and participated with our AFC steering committee with trips to DC. And through that, further contribution to the chamber, what I'd like to do is to provide advocacy and insight to some of the challenges that the chamber and our members will be facing as we go through this pandemic period. And looking forward to workforce opportunities and maintaining our strength with our military leaders and armed forces here and abroad. So very simply and humbly, that's what I'm looking for, and I look forward to serving on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Next, let's hear from AJ Pothen. AJ, you're up next.
Thank you, Ernie. My name is Ajay Pothen. I'm originally from outside the Philadelphia area. That's where I grew up. And as some politicians like to say, bad things happen in Philadelphia. But prior to moving to Guam, I used to work for Booz Allen doing economic business analysis and mathematical optimization modeling, which is a fancy way to say I sat behind my desk and stared at Excel pretty much all day. I moved to Guam about 10 years ago, originally to work at the Pacific Star, family-owned business. I also help out at some of our other family businesses, Marinus Gas Company, doing business as Island Equipment, and Guam Shipyard. And I'm very excited to run for the chamber board. Part of the reason why is, even though this is a time of great challenges, I think it's also a time of great opportunity. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for us to shape the way policy affects the business community for the coming years. And one of the things that struck me during this pandemic is there was a great sacrifice that was asked to be made of the private sector, but there's no real clear plan on how the government plans to pay it back. So I'm excited to be part of that process to create effective policies that create a business-friendly environment for businesses and the private sector to thrive moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay. Next, we have incumbent Kim Anderson Young. Kim, You're up next.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. My name is Kim Anderson Young, and I actually was a Pan Am kid in Guam in fourth grade a long time ago, and came back to Guam in 1995, but I came through Saipan, where I had spent 10 years and started Security Title, which is a really, really, really small business. And then when I moved to Guam in 1985, I started Security Title here in the year 2000. So while I feel like I'm in amazing company with a lot of talent in these businesses, I think that the business that I represent are the ultimate in small businesses. So we are the biggest beneficiary of the chamber. I didn't realize when I joined the chamber 3 years ago exactly how beneficial this relationship was and the voice that we have in our community. I was honored last year to be a part of the Armed Forces Committee. I've served on some other small committees, but it's been a personal major benefit, and my heart goes out to all of the businesses, the large businesses and the small businesses that are suffering right now. I feel like we're very underrepresented in consideration of the government, and I look forward to being a part of having that voice be heard. I look forward to continuing to serve. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Kim. Next, we have a new candidate. His name is William Kalari. So, Will, can you please tell us about yourself?
Hi, Hafa. Good morning, everybody. Wow, looking at this panelist group, it's actually a big honor. I think I've had a chance to work with and for many of you, and so thank you for your service on previous service on the board. I'm just really honored to be here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Will Kalori. I'm 40 years old. I grew up in Colorado, but I moved to Guam in 1998 to just explore a little bit of my Chamorro roots. I'm currently living in PD, working for Cabris Marine, and actually working in my office at home right now due to the situation. We're all here in the house with my wife Maria and 3 kids doing our homeschool, just like probably many of you with your kids at home. So just trying to get through everything. I was a proud Triton. I graduated from UOG. I served during my time there. I served on the Board of Regents for 2 terms. And graduated with a degree in finance. And so I went into banking and worked for actually Mark Taquito of all people for a better part of half a decade in banking. About 5 years ago, one of my good friends and customers actually asked me to join him. So over the last 5 years, I've been serving as the CFO for Cabris Marine Corporation and really the whole universe of entities that they represent. So we've got a portfolio of pretty much whatever you can name. We've got ship repair, we've got airport services, we've got real estate. So my current task is to foresee the financial and the operational success of probably a good part of $100 million worth of real estate assets and business assets. So my goal here with this opportunity to be a candidate or a potential board member is to hopefully to kind of bring what I've been enculturated with as a member of the Cabris Marine team, which is Don Marshall's connecting the dots. Well,
I'm sorry, Will, I have to interrupt you. You've gone over your 2 minutes.
Okay.
So next we want to hear from incumbent board member Jessica Barrett. Jessica?
Good morning.
Good morning, we can hear you.
Today, 49 years serving Okay, buenas and half a day. 49 years serving Guam, 31 years with Barrett Plumbing, and 50 years and 4 days on Mother Earth, with decades to go for me, God willing. Many awards have been given to me in the past few years, and I am proud to have earned all of them. I am Jessica Barrett, President and RME of Barrett Plumbing. Our locally owned, built, and operated family business is rooted on Guam. All businesses have many factors to keep the profits on the plus side and numbers in the black. All these awards and honor recognition is from hard work and perseverance, but it takes more than just myself and a bubble. In order to stay afloat and ahead of the curve, it is important for business owners such as myself to be a member in organizations that cater to our needs and look out for the best interests to ensure longevity and prosperity to our local businesses. Guam Chamber of Commerce mission includes this, along with many important functions. Today, with the current pandemic, there are many challenges ahead of us, and it has been quite a task. We must think outside the box because we need to focus on the issues ahead of us and use our business knowledge and experience together to provide solutions for our members. Looking forward to 2021, volatility looms, but we can depend on the Chamber to be our guide, our voice to keep us abreast and ahead of the curve. I come to you today seeking re-election to serve on the upcoming board of Chamber of Commerce. I commit my knowledge, my expertise, and my time to lend to the board to the greater good of our members and ultimately our beloved island as a whole. Si Zeus Maasi and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Next, we have a new candidate to the board elections, and may we hear from Charlie Hermosa. Charlie?
Yes, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great, great. Good morning, everybody. My name is Charlie Hermosa. I'm the general manager for APL. A little background on myself. I was born and raised in Queens, New York. I went to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy where I received an appointment as a Marine Corps officer. I did a combat tour in Afghanistan under the leadership of General Mattis. And I tell this story because of the fact that I think in today's world, we need to continue to be able to learn from the team that we have surrounded around us. So I bring this up because every day that I live on Guam, I run into somebody that I feel that they have so much knowledge. When I look at the chamber, I think it's very pivotal that we need to be able to create a team and utilize everybody's strengths to be able to move forward. I continue to use the word as a whiteboard, and honestly, through the pandemic, that's the way that I feel that we need to look at how we're going to move forward, because the norm is not the norm anymore. So I feel that what I bring to the table is a fact that I'm a mission accomplished person. I accomplished the mission. I'm very driven to be able to get something done. One of the things that I also put my hat on is the fact that I did a small startup in San Francisco. I took a leap of faith for 2 years. And so I know what it is to be able to look at every single dollar, and as it's going down through your bank account and trying to make sure that I'm paying for the rent, paying for food, and at the same time trying to raise money to get this business up and running. So I think I know what that feels like. I've also worked in Puerto Rico through the economic downturn, and we had to do a lot of thinking outside the box, thinking down there to be able to lift the economy. So I feel that I have a good experience, unfortunately, through tough times. But I feel that honestly, with the people that we have here on Guam, we have so much strength to be able to accomplish anything. And the momentum that the chamber has built towards the end of this year, I think we need to be able to build on that and continue that.
But you've gone over your 2 minutes. All right. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce another incumbent member of the board of directors. Please, let's hear from Siska Hutapea. Siska? You're still on mute. Well, still on mute, Siska.
Okay, thank you. Have a day and good morning, everyone. I'm Siska Hutapea. I'm the founder and chief appraiser for Cornerstone Valuation Guam, Inc. And I'm also mother of 5. As a matter of fact, this is 8:30 and I've done yoga. I've cooked salmon and pork chop for my children lunch. And I've arranged to-do list for the company for the day. And so I'm very efficient and effective. I've been on the board of Guam Chambers of Commerce for 3 years now, and I'm looking forward to serve another 3 years if you guys willing to vote for me. And what I can bring to the table is my facts-based decision making, data-driven decision making, and the efficiency of a mother of 5. I am very, very excited about the most recent role that I had with the Chambers of Commerce. When we did the strategic planning session, we formulated the vision of Guam Chambers of Commerce to be the catalyst for sustainable economic growth that improves the quality of life in Guam. And I resonates with that vision. And my recent role as the co-chairs of ad hoc committee for economic initiative, diversification and economic initiatives is going to be something that we can bring through the vision. So I humbly ask for your vote, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Siska. Now, rounding out the 11 candidates, we have incumbent Sandra McKeever. Sandra, are you able to join us? Yes, okay.
Yes. Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. My name is Sandra McKeever. I am a small business owner. I'm the CEO and president of Asia Pacific Financial. We are a investment financial advising firm. And I grew up in Guam. I went to Maria Ulloa for elementary, FB Leon Guerrero for middle school, and Simon Sanchez for high school. So Guam is my home. And I grew up here. I went through the public school system, and I went to UOG and alumni. And I think mother, you know, I'm married with 4 children, and I'm very, very honored to be serving in the board right now, the Guam Chamber board. And I'm really excited. It was my first time to serve on the board, and I'm really excited to continue this work because of 2020. We had an incredible year. We had an incredible chairperson, Christine, that did a lot of heavy lifting. And I think as a board member, we need to all be heavy lifters in regards to what we are passionate about and what we do. And I can say I am passionate about a lot of things that are going on and that what we need to do as a chamber, and we have a lot of work ahead of us. The reason why I say you have to be passionate is because it can't just be a task. It can't be just a thing that you do on the side as a volunteer. It has to be within you, because if you don't, there's the time and the energy is not spent there. And I think we need that as a board. And I can tell you that even though, you know, sometimes I tell myself in my head, you know, hey, maybe that's a little too political, maybe that's a little too hot topic, don't say anything. That's what I'm telling my head, but my hand goes up because my heart is saying, no, we need to talk about this. It's not pretty, but we got to talk about this. And I think that is what you can count on me to do, is to, if I'm passionate about something, even though
Sandra,
it's not.
Sandra, I hate to interrupt you. Thank you very much for that introduction. Before we get into the questions, I'd just like to remind everybody that, you know, we've got the 8 seats that are going to be available for the board for next year, and 11 candidates. Just for our membership's reminder, 6 candidates garnering the highest number of votes will serve a term of 3 years as a voting director. The next 2 candidates garnering the next highest number of votes will serve a 1-year term as a non-voting alternate director. And then election day will be November 18th, and because of the COVID situation, this will be a virtual ballot sent to the representative of record for each one of our members. And then there will be early voting available from November 11th, and the final voting will be on the 18th. And because of this virtual voting tool that we're using, we'll be able to announce the winning candidates of the new board, hopefully by the end of our general membership meeting, which will be on November 18th. And then before we get to the questions, I just wanted to acknowledge the work of our nominating committee, which includes Joe Arnett, Maureen Maritita, Candy Oklahoma, Mika Caldwell, and Trina Cruz. And now with the questions, we'll start off with, I'll ask Trina Cruz to ask a question of Dave Silva. Trina?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Yes, this question is for Dave Silva. Hi, Dave.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Is there a specific issue that you feel the chamber should pursue but is currently not? Please explain.
Great question, and thank you. Especially thank you to Mika for nominating me. I feel there are two, and both that I am willing to champion if elected to the board. One is something I call proactive economic development. As I've said earlier, the chamber is made up of some really, really smart minds with lots of experience in business. And as a chamber group, I think we can brainstorm to find things that will work here. We take a leadership role in our island's economic development, and think we look for industries that might work here and that we want to do, and let's be the one that goes to GITA with well thought out ideas and strategies and a checklist of things that the government needs to provide for the industry to grow. It's important that we drive our own future and we challenge the government to support us and not the other way around. The other thing is member development, and I don't only mean to grow member count and to bring new members, but mean that Chamber should take an interest in developing its member business capabilities, whether by mentoring, coaching, professional training, and personal networking, both at home and abroad, to name a few. Such things, I think, would bring great value to companies that are members of the Chamber. So we have the minds of over 400 businesses and 40,000 people. Let's connect the dots and make a better Guam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask Joe Arnett to ask the question of Mark Sablon. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Trina.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Mark. The question I have for you is, do you think the company employees know about the Guam Chamber of Commerce and what it does for the business community? And got any ideas we can have to improve that communication?
Now, when you say company employees, are you talking about member companies in general?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's a good question, Joe. You know, at this point, I'd have to say that we can do probably a better job in informing company employees what the chamber is all about. In my experience as a board member, what I do is anything of real importance I share with my company employees. More specifically, I share with our executive management and our middle management. I think that the newsletters that have come out from our great chamber, from the chamber team, is fantastic. There are a lot of good information in those messages from the president and so forth. So yes, to answer your question, we're not doing a very good job, but I think it's getting better and we can improve on it. And at this point, I think we are making some gains in making all the employees of member companies aware of what the chamber is all about. But yeah, thanks. That's my feeling on that.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Joe. Next, I'd like to call on Maureen to ask a question of Mark Taquito.
Okay, I think I'm live. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you kind of breaking up, Maureen?
Okay, is that better?
Yep.
Okay, all right, here we go. So do you get enough information about Guam Chamber of Commerce activities on a regular basis? And do you have any suggestions to improve those activities?
No, I think the chamber does a great job in public relations. We're very active in social media, and especially this year, I think the chamber did a really good job of communicating, to the public, to politicians on, our stance, especially in light of the pandemic. Our chair, Christine Bolento, has been on the news constantly, sharing the chamber's messages. And as Mark just mentioned, the chamber does a great job of getting messages out through, again, social media, through emails. So yeah, the answer to that is yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Maureen. And then MBJ does a good job also, so thank you.
Double thank you.
Thanks, Maureen, and thanks, Mark, for that shameless plug. Now I'd like to ask Trina to come back once again and ask a question of Phil Santos.
Okay, good morning. Hi, Phil.
Morning.
Fundraising is a significant obligation of the board service. Can you tell us about your experience in fundraising?
Oh, that's a great question, and thank you. I have years of experience in fundraising, successful fundraisers. I don't think I've ever been in an unsuccessful fundraiser, but I can certainly contribute to that, having that experience. And I think putting together a very good team, particularly with budgets into the fundraisers so that you don't fail. I think reaching a goal and executing the mission with your team is certainly important. With the chamber, there have been various events that have been occurring over the many years, and I think that opportunities for fundraising in the future is going to be a little tough and challenging, but I think with the creative minds through the board and even our members, I think we can find some opportunities there, and certainly would like to contribute in that should I get elected on the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trina. Thanks, Phil. Next, I'd like to call back Joe Arnett. He's got a question for Ajay.
Ajay, thanks again for running for the board, and with all the candidates, thanks for showing your interest. My specific question for you, AJ, is what ideas do you have to get members more engaged with the Guam Chamber?
That's a great question, Joe. And I guess before I answer that question, I also mentioned that I'm the vice chair for the Guam Young Professionals, and that's a question our subcommittee has been kind of wrestling with as well. One of the ideas that we had was to drive additional engagement through social media, and with this pandemic, it's really hard to kind of reach out to our membership as a collective. So again, one of the thoughts we had is to maybe have each individual member of the steering committee see if they can organize pocket meetings with various groups of members, either segmented by industry, by age, or by other demographics, in order to kind of get feedback on how they feel GYP is performing for our membership, but then also issues and concerns they have with the pandemic, the economy, and the state of the island. So maybe that's something the chamber board can consider doing as well, where individual board members reach out to their industry partners that are also members of the chamber board, or reach out to pockets of membership based on other demographics to drive engagement and reach them better. Thank you for the question.
Thanks, AJ. Good answer. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Ajay. Next, I'd like to call back Maureen, and she's got a question she wants to ask to Kim Anderson-Young.
Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Kim. Can you hear me? Morning, Kim. Am I coming through?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay, I am trying to, there I am. Okay, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you as well. Okay, so the question I have for you, what do you think are the characteristics of a great board member?
I think probably what board members most need is concern and apathy. We have such a diverse group. We're all tied together in the fact that we're business people, and if I ever hear this, we're all in this together again, I feel like I'm going to pull some plug or something. But it's probably most accurate that this group is all in the same situation together, in that there doesn't seem to be a lot of concern by the government about the private sector, and we're used to that. So we are figuring a way around the situation and what's going on. I think involvement is probably the biggest attribute that a member should have on this board. I'm listening to a lot of people talk about the great diversity that belongs to the board. We've got the big businesses, the small businesses, the ones that provide services to the government, ones that are completely shut down, like our tourism industry, and ones that are functioning almost normally. So having that great diversity of experience, I think, is a huge benefit to us. And I think there's no one else out there right now that has our message. So working on it together, I think, is our greatest benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Maureen. I'd like to call Trina Cruz back, and she has a question for Will Calore. Trina?
Hi, good morning. Hi, Will. So do you have any worries or concerns about joining the chamber board?
Absolutely not. The thing I think I'm most concerned about is being able to produce the type of results that the chamber's done so far. This membership, the board membership, is just some phenomenal people. I think the most critical thing, though, is that we actually translate a lot of the discussion and ideas that the board produces into action and results. And so, in a challenging environment where obviously the government's struggling to figure out how to move forward, I think it's going to take some very delicate but firm action on behalf of the board members to execute some of the things that have been taking place. Namely, there's some initiatives that were taken or have been completed on behalf of the board through the white paper that has been developed. These are some ideas that I think that we're all really interested in pushing and putting into place, because there's some opportunities to get very specific and immediate results in getting our economy moving, getting people back to work. And so my biggest concern is that we don't move fast enough, that we don't connect the dots well enough. But I hope that through my contribution to the board and my efforts, and including the collective efforts of our executive management team at Cavers Marine, that we're able to put a lot of these initiatives into motion. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will. We didn't want to ask that question to scare you away by any means, but okay, good answers. Thank you on your feet. Next, I'd like to call Joe Arnett to ask a question of Jessica Barrett. Sorry, Jessica Barrett.
Good morning, Jessica. What chamber committees or programs are you involved in, or would you like to be involved in as an active member of the board?
Okay, one more time, please. Sorry.
What chamber committees or programs are you involved in or would like to be involved in as an active member?
So in my first year here, I was a non-voting member, and I was pleased to be in. And I have not been as engaged as I'd like to be. I would like to. I saw, looking through the different committees, I did see one for the women, and I'm not sure if that's still an active committee, but I'd like to participate in that and see what we can do as champion of women business owners and also a minority in my field. I have a lot of outreach with my current organizations, NAWIC, one to name a few, and Guam contractors. I'd also like to be part of the small business committee and see what we can do to adjust it to maybe some outreach to get more small businesses involved and regenerate a growing committee member group so that we can get new ideas and new different business lines into that committee so that we can get ideas that would benefit a lot of the different members and different activities that they conduct in their daily businesses.
Okay, very good, Jessica. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Joe. Next, I'd like to ask Candy Yokohama. She has the question she wants to ask of Charlie Hermosa.
Hi, Charlie. Good morning. Half a day.
Half a day. Good morning. Good morning, Candy. How are you?
It's Candy.
Good morning, Candy. How are you?
Good. Okay. Board members bring experience, wisdom, strategic thinking, and their Rolodex contact list. Would you be willing to use your resources to support the Guam Chamber? Please explain.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that should be our primary mission right now, to be able to explore avenues of our networks. Being able to, again, think outside the box, reach out to all our network contacts throughout the world is imperative for us to be able to look at different ideas that we can bring to the island and see what can be done here and work through. So yes, the answer is that's priority number one. And I think whether I receive a seat at the board, or if not, I'm still willing to support that effort and making sure that we're reaching out to every avenue that we can go out and search for to find benefits for Guam. I think it's very needed, and I think everybody should be thinking the same way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Candy. Next, I'm going to bring up Maureen one more time, and she has a question for Siska.
Hi, Siska.
Hi, Maureen. Good morning.
Good morning. So my question to you is, as a board member, would you be willing to reach out to other executives in your industry, by which I mean the real estate industry, and encourage them to join the chamber? If yes, what would your appeal or pitch to them be?
Yes, definitely, Maureen. You know, what attracts me to Guam Chambers of Commerce is, of course, first and foremost, is the mission. You know, the Chamber's mission is the catalyst for sustainable economic growth that improves the quality of life in Guam. I have 5 children. I want Guam to be, you know, a place where they can grow and they can find, you know, high-paying jobs, and they can raise their family. I've had friends who went off island, younger friends who went off island and study off island, and they want to go back to Guam because Guam is like the best kept secret. You can raise family and have a good quality of life. and how great it is that being a member of Guam Chambers of Commerce, we can actually do something to effectuate that, improvement of quality of life. Like I said, I'm a member of the think tank committee, doing the white paper on the diversification of economic initiatives on Guam with 10 new industry, and I'm really, really excited about that. And I use my hat as GIDA board member to, make sure that it really is going to happen and not just a white paper. And so we have a well-oiled machine. President Catherine Castro knows her stuff. We know how to, convey information to the public. We're really good in what we do. And, there's no better way to really affect the future of Guam than joining the Guam Chambers of Commerce.
Thank you, Siska.
Thank you, Siska, for that answer, and thank you, Maureen. Rounding out our 11 candidates, I'm going to ask Mika Caldwell to ask a question of Sandra McKeever. So, Mika.
Sorry, I had to turn on my mic. Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Hi, Mika. I'm doing well.
Okay, so what do you think is one of the most important benefits that members receive belonging to the Guam Chamber of Commerce? Please explain.
Okay, there is a lot of benefits, but I think the primary, if I were to touch on one primary benefit, is that they have a voice in the chamber, and because of our effort together in a bigger organization, they get to be a part of that. And I don't think members realize that. And it's not about the luncheon meetings that, they get informed. It's about that they can actually have a voice and be a part of what we do as a business community. And, I know a lot of people talked about like membership and involvement. I would really like to see the leaders of these businesses come together more often with our chamber board, because they have an amazing opportunity to educate their employees. And I think we have to have training to do that, because then we can have the employees get involved. And I think that's where we're lacking is, yes, the owners know, the executives know, but the employees do not know. And it has to be intentional. It cannot just happen organically, because sometimes it doesn't happen. We're busy running a business. I know I'm a small business owner. And so it has to be intentional. I feel like we need to train our member leaders to actually know how to educate, not to push our own agenda, but to educate so they can make a decision, because a lot of times they don't know. And so I think that is the most powerful tool that we can, that they have by being a member, is now they're part of a big organization and we can really make a difference on Guam.
Great, thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Thank you all candidates. I mean, we really appreciate everyone here who have raised their hand, who have stepped up to the plate, who has the ambition to help the Guam Chamber of Commerce make a difference in our community, in our economy, and most importantly, the place where we call home. So it's approximately 8:59. I'm going to ask Catherine, do we have any questions from our membership that we would like to ask any of the candidates?
Good morning. I am looking at the question in the chat and I do not see anything from our participants.
Okay, so I guess we'll close, and I just want to remind again everybody that we've got general membership meeting is going to be on November 18th. It'll be a virtual meeting, so we ask everybody to be looking in your email box for the link to the GoToWebinar. Our election for the Guam Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, 8 available seats, will start November 11th and then go through all the way to the 18th. We hope to have the announcement of the winning candidates by the end of the meeting. And if not, we'll probably have it by the end of the day with the process that we have, it goes through an audit to make sure that we don't have any duplications of ballots. And so it'll be an auditing process in order to verify that we've got everything's on the up and up. Again, we want to thank the candidates for your participation and for volunteering to become a candidate for the board election. I'd like to thank the membership for your continued support of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. We have a lot of work ahead of us in the year 2021. And a reminder, once again, everybody, that there are only 49 days until Christmas. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody and bid you all a good Friday.
Thank you,
Adios.
Ernie, on all the nominating committee. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ernie, and all
Thank you
our
very much, everyone.
candidates.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
All right, be
Thanks, everyone.
safe.
Take care.